Hi guys, welcome back to Game 2 of the SAGA event that the Dagger Game Club ran. So this will be our first doubles tournament, so I'll have a quick run over how the doubles is going to work. It's 2 players either side. The sequence for playing will be roll off the first turn as per usual. Team with the first turn decides who wants to go first on their side. One of their players will go, then the opposite team will go, and then it'll go back and forth, and that'll be one round over. One complete turnover. Okay, so when you get your turn, and it's your the first turn of the round, so to speak, you can choose who gets to activate, and then they complete all of theirs, and then it goes to the opponent, then it's back to you, then it's the opponent, and then you're all done. Worked really well actually. Really enjoyed playing these double games. I think I'll try a couple more of these. At 4 points it was quite interesting. If you can work out how to team up with your opponent in the right way. Use their strengths and your strengths, and I think for everyone this doubles game pretty much gave everyone a bit of a challenge to understand how to best work together. And as I say, this tournament was about learning the game, and the best way I thought would be to learn the game is if we start teaming up people, and you can see how other people play the game then, and get to hear their ideas. So that's how it's working so far, and we'll have a look at who's taking part. So for this one, I'm teamed up with the Anglo-Danes against an opponent which is also Anglo-Danes and Scots. So the armies themselves, the Anglo-Danes on my side, he had 8 Hearthguard with heavy weapons, 8 warriors and a levy. Me, I was doing the same 10, 10, 11 of warriors, and both opponents were running 4 Hearthguard, 2 warriors and then a levy with bow. So looking at the opponent's flank, they mixed up their troops. They had all their teams intermingled. So on their left, far left, we have a Scots warriors, and then we have Anglo-Dane warriors. We have 12 levy, and then we have 4 Hearthguard, and behind that is the Anglo-Dane lord. We have another 4 Hearthguard, and behind that is the Scot lord. And then going on from there, we have 12 levy with bows. That's from the Anglo-Danes. And then Scots out the front with some more warriors. And then behind that are some more warriors from the Anglo-Danes on behind the house there. Well, me and my opponents said we'll have this side of the trees and you have the other. So there's my warband set up as the 2 11s at the front and unit 10 at the back. And my ally also set up in a little clump there his 8 Hearthguard with Dane axes, 8 warriors, the 12 levy, and his warlord nicely in the middle there. And just to be warned, because it's a doubles game and we didn't have a huge amount of time, we had to crack on. I didn't take a huge amount of photos, so it'll be kind of hit and miss on what you're seeing we do. Basically, I think I've moved up as a reaction. As an evade reaction, and got some wounds onto the Scottish bow there on the hill. And after my evade, they shoot, and I managed to do 2 casualties to me as well. So you know, not too bad. Then there was some movement elsewhere from my opponent, so I decided while my enemy Anglo-Danes have got no battle board abilities down, I will use my our land ability, I think it is, which allows me to move or charge. I charged my warriors into my opponent's warriors, and we managed to kill 4 each. So I didn't quite stop on getting some SAGA dice, but now he'll be panicking and probably run off with that unit. So it's looking something like this. So I was going to swing around to the right hand side there, but my opponent's pulling back from that side. So in a minute I'll start moving my guys back to the middle here. The Scots player's moved his Hearthguard and warlord out, and I warned my opponent, if you look at the battle board up there, don't bother charging the Hearthguard, it's not going to be worth it. The thing with the Scots, they've got some awesome abilities if you can do the math, and the player of the Scots is a mathematician. That's probably why he likes them so much. So I know full well if you go in there you're not going to do as much damage as you think, and you'll probably lose more. So yeah, it ends up looking like this. So it's back to the Scots go, and some more shots here. Plink off these guys, so I've lost a SAGA dice, but I still have a unit remaining. And using my reactions to start pushing my guys back to the middle of the board. These guys move up and throw some javelins. In my opponent's turn, he decides to go for it and go in. And yes, so he took 8 Hearthguard with heavy weapons into the 4 Hearthguard of the Scots, and ends up losing 3 men, and the Scots only lost 2. Yeah, it was quite brutal. So looking something like this, as you can see on the left hand side there, the Scots have moved around ready to engage the levy. Also the warriors on the top there from the Anglo-Danes have moved around the building as well. There's some fatigue among the Anglo-Danes on my side, and that's mainly due to exhaustion, which the opposing Anglo-Danes managed to get on their first turn. So yeah, and as you can see there, the Hearthguard face-off wasn't as good as he hoped, but there you go. I warned him. I warned him. The Scots are brutal on the defensive. If they've got a full battle board, it's not worth charging in combat, I don't believe. So down here, the Scot warriors come in and beat up some levy. So what happened here is the Scots player brought his warlord down to finish off the Anglo-Dane Hearthguard unit, and then he moved his his Hearthguard up to give him some extra wounds. And because of that, there was 2 of them there, by the way. Because of that, I could react, so I reacted and then started throwing javelins at his warlord to try and finish it off. Managed to get 1 wound through, exhausted his warlord, and he's got 1 wound on the Hearthguard. And then in my turn, I used my warlord to come up, and he finished them off. I don't know how he finished them off. Definitely killed off the warlord, and maybe oh yeah, it's because it's my turn. I could now throw javelins, and the other guys got gaining fatigue, and wiped out the Hearthguard unit as well. Sorry for the quick blurry. This is just me moving up and chucking some more javelins, and managed to kill 2 Hearthguard off the Anglo-Danes warlord's bodyguard. So yeah, they're doing quite well. This little unit in the middle. On our left, the Anglo-Danes go in and hammer up our Anglo-Danes warriors. So they are pushed back, and it looks something like this. And this is the last photo of the game. Because this was time, we had 2 hours to play, you know, to get through. And if you didn't have enough turns, well, we end when everyone having the same amount of turns. It's the fairest way of doing it. Because I wanted 4 games, we got to say get 4 games in a day. It was some good fun, and this game was good as well. And this ends up being a draw. Yeah, our Anglo-Dane player got pretty hammered, but in return we managed to chip off some expensive units thanks to some sneaky javelin throws, baking them out with the Anglo-Danes. So this one was a draw for both of us.